Oh, Caitlin Clark, it has been revealed that Ice Cube offered her $1.5 million per game. And this is my favorite thing, is that the big three will use Caitlin Clark in every...
Caitlin Clark, the player who single-handedly lifted women's basketball from obscurity to prime time, just rejected a $15 million contract from the Big Three League. And while the WNBA breathed a sigh of relief, a wave of jealous players still believe they deserve equal recognition in a story that would not exist without her.
Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. I understand. You got Nike deals, you got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour, you got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15 M's, unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was gonna get her to show up and play in your league,
This isn't just about money. It's about a 23-year-old phenomenon choosing loyalty over luxury, fans over fortune, and the future of women's basketball over personal gain. And while her WNBA peers earn a maximum of $249,244 a year, Clark turned down enough cash to buy a small island, or at least a mansion with a full basketball court in the backyard.
The $15 million, that's life-changing money for anyone, let alone a rookie athlete. So where did this unbelievable offer come from, and why on earth would Caitlin Clark turn it down? So the offer, as you guys can see on the article on the screen, was from the Big Three, the 3-on-3 basketball league founded by the one and only Ice Cube, and the first offer was already huge, a cool $5 million ball. But in a sign of just how desperate they were to get Clark, they tripled it, blowing it up to a massive...
Ice Cube's Big Three League didn't come with pocket change, starting at $5 million and eventually tripling their offer to a staggering $15 million for just 10 weeks of play, which breaks down to $1.5 million per game. And considering most WNBA players would need 6 decades to make what Clark was offered for a single afternoon on the court, the scale of the deal speaks for itself.
Caitlin Clark, the Big Three reportedly offered Caitlin Clark $15 million for 10 games. For 10 games. That is insane. That's wild. And it says she declined. That's a lot of chicken to turn down. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. I literally can't. I can't. That is insane. I don't know, bro. 15 million for 10 games. Whew. Whew.
Here's the remarkable part. She said no, not maybe, not let me think about it, but a clear and absolute thanks. But no thanks, because unlike the players tossing shade on social media and griping about attention they haven't earned, Caitlin Clark truly understands what this moment means for women's basketball.
Ice Cube, I'm sorry, my precious CC said no. 15 mil to play in your Big Three league? No, I don't chase the money. Money chased me. You hear me? At the end of the day, she is worth $1 billion. By the time her career ends, I'm telling you, all these other endorsement deals she have, and then make it make sense. Why was she playing a Big Three against NBA players who are stronger than her, which can injure her? You hear me? She would be the smallest person on the court. That wouldn't even make sense. And then I'm thinking, like, y'all probably would try to embarrass her and all of that, bro. Like, it's a lot of undercover hate.
The WNBA went into panic mode, cycling through every stage of grief in just 72 hours. First denial, convinced their golden goose would never actually consider leaving. Then anger at the idea of someone offering their star player real money when they can barely manage 6 figures, followed by bargaining as they scrambled to find creative ways to boost her pay through marketing deals and endorsements. Then depression as they realized Clark could make more in 10 weeks than their entire team's salary cap allows for a season, and finally acceptance, wrapped in the sweetest relief the league had ever felt.
Caitlin Clark, you so much better than me. The WNBA would have never... Hey, listen. I would have never stepped foot on that court. $1.5 million per game. Bron don't even make that. And you turned it down for her contract in the WNBA. She gonna make like $400,000 in 4 years. That's the part that I don't really understand about WNBA players. They make so much bread everywhere else. They be making more bread in college. They make more bread overseas. They can make more in Unrivaled, the Big Three. There's so many options, but they still be playing in the WNBA. I don't get it. Go on strike, bro. If there's money like this available, go get it, bro. Don't be loyal to it.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe, because Clark turned it down. She chose them, choosing the grind of an 82-degree gymnasium in Indiana over the glamour of whatever the Big Three had to offer. And in doing so, the WNBA didn't just dodge a bullet. They dodged a financial nuclear bomb that would have forced the league to explain why their most valuable star took her talents to South Beach or wherever Ice Cube runs his games. Yet while Clark made one of the most selfless decisions in recent sports history, her peers were too busy calculating how unfair life seemed. Since the WNBA salary cap sits at just $1,571,000 for an entire 11 to 12 player roster, while Clark's Big Three offer nearly equal 10 times that amount for one player across only 10 games. Math so outrageous it practically insults mathematics itself.
Want a good example of what it looks like when people are jealous of you? Look at Caitlin Clark. She is undeniably a great basketball player. That is just a fact. Now, there have been a lot of great basketball players before her, and there will be after her. But what we do know is that she is getting a ton of recognition, and that breeds jealousy. When you shine bright and you're really great at what you do, people come for you more because you are great. Notice how much friction there is on the court. There is always someone going up against her. There's always people taking personal offense.
But let's address the elephant in the arena: jealousy. And as Dick Vitale, a man who's forgotten more about basketball than most players will ever know, put it plainly, that's exactly what it is: pure jealousy. Proven when Clark was ranked just 9th among guards by her WNBA peers in All-Star voting despite leading in fan votes and finishing 3rd in media rankings, sending the unmistakable message that many players would rather cut off their shooting hands than admit Clark has elevated the entire sport.
WNBA's jealousy of Caitlin Clark has never been more obvious as players vote her the 9th best guard. Yes, you read that right, bro. The WNBA just had their All-Star voting return, and the players voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the league. Mind you, this is the same Caitlin Clark that came in breaking every record. She putting up numbers that have never been done in WNBA history. She literally has the entire league on her back. Look down here. This is how many votes she got from the fans. Look, she got 1.2 million All-Star votes. Not only is that a WNBA record, but it breaks her own record from last year when she got 700,000 as a rookie. And this, look, for reference, the top 30 vote getters for the 2023 All-Star game got one.
Meanwhile, Clark's actual WNBA salary is nothing short of a cosmic joke. She's making $78,668 this season, which is less than the cost of some luxury cars, all while being directly responsible for 27% of the league's total economic activity. With an Indiana University economist estimating she generated $36 million in impact for Indianapolis alone during her rookie year, essentially bringing in more revenue than some small nations, while the WNBA pays her like she's running a Dairy Queen. And yet her response to this chaos has been flawless, as players like Aya Wilson leak their own contract details to stay relevant, while Clark shrugs off luxuries, joking about not paying $10 for airplane Wi-Fi because she's cheap. A woman who just walked away from $15 million worrying instead about internet on a Delta flight, which isn't just humble, it's transcendent. And what makes her decision even more remarkable is that she could have easily walked away from the WNBA entirely. The league that underpays her, the players who resent her, the media that questions her worth, and no one would have blamed her. But Clark isn't operating on rational self-interest. She's operating on vision.
Deals must be pretty decent for her to willingly turn that down, because we know her WNBA salary is nothing to brag about. But for her to do that, I guess I look at it like this. If she were to have accepted that before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court, I could only imagine how they would have treated her. I don't even think she would have made it through half the season. She would have had a season-ending injury for sure. With how rough they were treating her as a rookie and fouling her and just being aggressive with her in comparison to other players. I don't think she would have made it through the season as a rookie. So I guess in a sense that may be a blessing in disguise. It's hard to say a blessing in disguise when you lose out on 15 M's, but nobody knows. That may have been.
She knows her value isn't just in dollars and cents, but in the little girls now dreaming of shooting logo threes and the mothers planning family outings around WNBA games, because she sees the bigger picture, building something lasting for women's basketball in America instead of cashing in on a moment. And the reality of what Clark has created is staggering, with her debut game drawing 2.1 million viewers, the league's biggest audience in over 20 years, while her games continue to shatter attendance records that stood since its inception, as the Indiana Fever, who drew only 81,000 fans for the entire 2023 season, surpassed that number in just 5 home games with her. And when the Mystics Fever matchup moved from a 4,100-seat venue to a 20,300-seat arena and still sold out, it stopped being just a basketball game and became a cultural event, with families traveling across states, kids wearing Clark jerseys to school, and women's basketball suddenly becoming a water cooler conversation across America. And perhaps the most telling statistic is that WNBA merchandise sales skyrocketed by 236% year over year, not 36%, but 236%. An economic explosion fueled entirely by one player who decided building something sustainable was more important than chasing the biggest payday.
Her from within, and it's the players. Realistically, I know we're out of time. WNBA last year was the first year in its like 25-30 year existence that it was profitable. Made $1 million, but it was the first time that it didn't lose money because the NBA supplements. Well, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, you have to go from the 8,000 seat WNBA arena to the 30,000 seat whatever arena across town, because of ticket sales and all of the apparel and all of this stuff that's coming from Caitlin Clark, and you're just like, okay, but the league is totally destroying her.
While Clark was turning down generational wealth, other WNBA players were left counting their own modest paychecks, with the league's highest paid player making $249,244 a year, roughly what Clark was offered per game by the Big Three. And because the salary cap prevents anyone from earning more than that, the entire WNBA pay structure is fundamentally incapable of rewarding stars at their true value, which is why players like Kelsey Mitchell, the current top earner, and Jackie Young, with her $154,900 two-year deal, can only look at Clark's rejected offer with equal parts awe and envy, since they're competing for what amounts to rounding errors compared to what Clark could have banked by leaving. But here's the irony. Clark's choice to stay is precisely why their salaries may actually rise, with new CBA negotiations projecting maximum deals could reach $1 million, a 300% jump from current levels, made possible only because she decided to build the brand instead of chasing instant gratification.
I mean, obviously the meetings that are going to happen in Indianapolis are going to be really important, and although I'm not our team rep or on the committee, like I'm still trying to understand and engage as much as possible. Obviously this is my second year in the league, but also this is like a very important time for our league and where it's going to continue to grow. So I'm certainly looking forward to those meetings and being in them, and I think everybody in our league is to help these CBA talks continue to move forward. So should be very important for us on Thursday. Yes, I'll be there.
When Caitlin Clark announced she was staying, in the WNBA, front office executives likely needed medical attention from stress-induced heart palpitations, because the league has been riding her wave since her college days, and losing her would have been like losing the engine while the plane was still climbing, as every television contract, every sponsorship deal, and every expansion team spending hundreds of millions to join the league all trace back to the phenomenon she created. And Clark didn't just elevate the profile of women's basketball, she fundamentally transformed its business model, shifting the WNBA from a barely sustainable niche product into a legitimate entertainment option competing with major men's sports for attention. And the proof of her impact is undeniable. with her rookie card selling for $660,000 at auction, more than her entire 4-year WNBA contract, making it clear that when a piece of cardboard with her picture is worth more than her salary, the league's compensation structure has completely lost touch with reality.
$660,000 is insane. I'm sure there are plenty of cards out there that have gone for more than that. One, it is her second year. What are we doing? Like, I get that the Caitlin Clark fanfare is a whole thing. I think she's a great basketball player.
Caitlin Clark has embraced the role of humble champion, navigating the chaos around her with steady leadership. And while some players complain about media attention and spotlight distribution, she talks about fans cherishing memories from games and the joy of kids lighting up while watching women's basketball. Never chasing personal accolades, but instead focusing on building a legacy for the next generation of athletes. And when asked about turning down the Big Three offer, she didn't frame it as sacrifice or nobility, but simply redirected the conversation to the fans and the future of women's basketball in America, proving this wasn't media training, but genuine understanding of the moment's importance beyond individual bank accounts. And by saying no to $15 million, she made it clear she was willing to remain underpaid in service of something greater, choosing potential over instant gratification, growth over personal enrichment, and long-term sustainability over cashing in on a trend.
She's smarter than a lot of people think at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure she has a lot of stock options. You hear me? She's the face of the league. That lets me know y'all going out y'all way to get her to come play for y'all, whatever y'all built, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but at the end of the day, her focus is the WNBA. Nobody can tell me that she ain't the face of the league. Matter of fact, since she turned it down, how about you go get Angel Reese? I know, cause she ain't worth nothing more than a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
This story isn't really about money. It's about vision, because Caitlin Clark recognized the chance to transform women's basketball from a charity case into a true entertainment powerhouse and chose to stay to finish the job. And while jealous peers grumble about equal billing in a narrative that wouldn't exist without her, she remains focused on the only thing that matters, building something that will outlast all their careers combined. And though the WNBA can breathe for now, knowing their golden goose hasn't flown the coop, they must figure out how to fairly compensate the woman who single-handedly saved their league before someone else presents an offer she can't refuse. Because next time, even Clark's extraordinary loyalty may not be enough to outweigh the simple math of being valued at $1 billion while being paid like a college graduate. And the panic may have subsided, but the lesson endures, that sometimes the most valuable player isn't the one demanding the most money, but the one willing to sacrifice for something bigger. And Clark just proved that true champions aren't only made on the court, but also in the courage to walk away from the biggest payday of their life to chase something even greater.